Hi everyone. Okay, so second live here. Um, this is all new to me, so I'm really learning to navigate this. If you can hear me, you can share a comment. Just gonna give it a few seconds here. See if the sound is good. You guys can participate in the chat, so I think that's good. It's gonna take a few seconds. I'm just trying to do my settings here. So I am doing this live. It's the second time I'm coming on live, so just trusting the process. And you find yourself, if you're listening to this, you are on my Trust the Process page. Trust the Process came a few years back to me, and I'll explain that in another Zoom eventually, but on another live eventually. But I wanted to create this page because I have been, for those of you who know me, I have been on a healing journey for quite a few years now, through sobriety since 2010, with plant medicines since 2013, and through different ceremonies with shamans, through different meditations, through all sorts of modalities. You know, I've paid over the years thousands and thousands of dollars because I did go to a rehab in 2010, but going to rehab is just one step. It's just a door opening to an inner journey, and that inner journey is a way of living now. And throughout the years, I've first of all supported myself. I went through my own healing journey, and I'm continuing that every single day. You know, this is the path that I choose for my own well-being. Today in 2022, I am living life in peace, in joy, in serenity, but it hasn't always been the case, and it doesn't mean that it's the case every day. The well-being is really a journey, and the healing journey is a journey that we embarked on when we are being called to change something in our lives. And it really stirs the frickin' soup. It's not something that's easy every day, but it's something that I'm committed to every day. And throughout the years, I've supported quite a lot of people on their own healing journey, on their own inner journey, whatever we want to call it. I like to say doing the work, which is the real work. And when we've decided to embark on this journey, it can be challenging at times. And throughout the past years, I've been supporting quite a few people. First of all, through my nursing practice. I was a nurse assistant for nearly 10 years in a hospital where I worked on different departments. And I did support people as well through my practice in combo. I've been a combo practitioner for the past 4 years now, and that journey has totally changed my life for the better, and has changed the lives of many people that came across my way, hearing the call of that medicine. And I'm still supporting a lot of people. Of course, my practice has changed a little bit now with the actual situation. So I'm not doing retreats like I used to. So everything is changing, everything is transforming, and I'm just listening to what is, to see where I can be of service, because this is something I've always been doing. I've always been of service. Before, I used to be of service to people, putting myself aside. Now, I'm aware and I know that everything starts with ourselves. You cannot give to others what you don't have. Being money, being emotions, being energy, because one day or the other, if you're giving what you don't have, you'll end up bankrupt. So now I'm supporting other people, but always starting with my own support. And this page that I've just created is really for people to come here and find some tools, find some guidance. And everything that I'm sharing, first of all, is my own truth. I don't carry the truth of the truth. I can only share what I carry. But by doing so, it might help some of you to remember what you already carry. You know, I'm not here to teach anything. I'm not here to prove anything. In this world, and specifically for the past 4 years with my practice with Kambo, I'm really realizing that we're really there with one another to help one another remember what we're carrying. And throughout my journey, I'm noticing that there are themes that are coming into my lives. And one of the themes that's been quite present within the past week is going back to our childhood. Remember when you were a kid, remember what you carried as a kid without being conditioned, educated, influenced by anything. That light, that vibration that you carried, that purity that you carry. For me, life is really inviting me to go back to that and remembering when I was a kid. I was always a peacemaker. I was always a people gatherer. I was always someone that wanted to bring joy with the people that I met. And I always felt outside of the box. I never felt like I belonged anywhere. I always felt like I was an ET, and I was still walking my path, but not feeling I was belonging anywhere. And to me, society has always been trying to put us in a box. You know, you come into this world and you have your parents' belief system, and they're really trying their best to bring you the best. You know, most of the parents have the best intentions, but they're gonna transfer you their belief system, their visions of lives, and then you enter the school system and you will be taught to learn this in a very linear way. If you feel that the answer on the test is B, but the teacher thinks it's A, then you'll get it wrong, but you're not going to explore why you chose B. So you start to learn to build your own personality on other people's belief system, on other people's vision. And then, you know, in society, we're being given the vision from a very, very young age that, you know, you're born a boy or a girl, and then you go to school, and then you get educated, and you find a career, and then you find a partner, and then you buy your house, and then you have kids, ideally a boy and a girl, and then you work towards your retirement, and then you retire, and then you end up in a freaking box. And I've always known from a very, very young age that there was so much more to what was presented to us, and I never felt like I was fitting really anywhere. One book that really changed the course of my life. I think I was about 14 when I read The Alchemist. The Alchemist really opened me up to something much, much bigger than what was presented. And I've built myself, I've built my personality, um, knowing that there was much more than what was presented. And I remember a friend of mine saying to me once, you always try to do stuff that's different than everybody else. You always try to stick out. You always try, to go on the roads that are less traveled. And it's not that I was trying to do some things that nobody else was doing. Is that I've always followed what was within and what was calling me. For so many of us, we lived our lives from what other people were thinking of us. You were doing something thinking, what will my mom will be thinking? What will my dad will be thinking? What will my spouse will be thinking? What will my children will be thinking? What about we start to live our lives for us, for what we feel, for what we're being called to do? So many times in life, I got called to do something and I had no freaking idea why I was doing what I was doing. But I had this inner knowing that was pushing me through, pushing me forward in some direction. And it's only after I've traveled that road that I understood really why life pushed me in that direction or led me that way. So trusting what's there, trusting our inner calling, trusting that we all have a uniqueness into each and every one of us that's pulling us forward, that's pulling us in one direction. And it is very uncomfortable to walk on paths and roads that not so many people are going on. Knowing that life is not happening to me, life is happening for me. I'm no victim. I take responsibility and I have a full trust in life that life's got my back. And even though I don't understand the path that I'm on, I just keep on walking. And I'm going to leave you on this. For 2 years, I lived in a very, very small village in a little house in the middle of the wood. Thank you for my aunt and my uncle to have given me this privilege. But I remember when I left nursing, I went through a huge, huge, huge deconstruction. Because this is what life is about. Sometimes when we're making big changes, we need to go through a deconstruction. I have a comment here that the video is frozen. Hopefully it's going to get back. I'm not too good with the technology. I'm learning. So when we're making big changes in our lives, sometimes we're going to go through a deconstruction process, and this is not easy, and this is yucky, and this is very, very uncomfortable. And I thought I followed the calling. I rented out my condominium, I left my job, I ended up in the middle of the woods in a beautiful, beautiful setting. And then my work started to go down. I was starting my own practice and I had no more clients, and I started to feel lost, and I didn't recognize myself, and I didn't know who the frick I was anymore, and I was going down the rabbit hole. And I remember that I was walking almost every day, and I was snowshoeing, and I was screaming out to the universe, I feel freaking abandoned. I don't know what's going on. I followed the calling. I followed everything that I was being guided to. And I left my job and I moved, and now, look at me now, I'm getting in debt, and I don't have any more clients, and I don't know who the fuck I am anymore. And then I started to hear laughing. And I heard, just keep on walking. And I'm like, what do you mean just keep on walking? I'm walking every freaking day. Like, do you want me to go up to Nunavut or something? And then it started laughing again, and it said, yeah, just keep on walking. Everything will appear underneath your feet. And this is what we've got to do. In those times of great changes, in those times where we're all feeling lost, that we're a bit scared of the future, that we're jumping into the unknown, where it gets very uncomfortable, let's keep on walking, one day at a time. If we live in the past, when there are regrets. If we live in the future, when anxiety, let's bring ourselves back in the here and now. This is all that exists. And let's keep on walking, one day at a time, with each other, helping one another to remember who we are, to remember what we carry, and trust the process. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.